Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to make a few comments. I'll keep it brief because I made most of my statement in my resignation letter at the last meeting. Again, I just want to thank the community of Minot. My experience with Minot started back when my father was stationed here at the Air Force Base. Went to elementary school at South Prairie Elementary for a little bit. And this was one way, at least a part of my career, that I could give back to the community that helped make me who I am today. And I appreciate the council that hired me and the council and mayors that I've served with. But more importantly, I want to thank the staff for the great job that you've done. We've really kind of pushed the throttle over the last several years and made a lot of changes and helped put this organization and this community in a better direction. And I wish this community and this council and this staff nothing but the best going forward, and that you make Minot what you envision it to be. And tonight's been a good example of hearing some strong opinions on different sides of issues, and I think this conversation is healthy, and I'm grateful that these discussions are happening publicly, because I don't know how much those were happening as frequently prior to me being here. And I think that's a sign that we've increased transparency, we've increased engagement, and it's beginning to involve the people, and those opinions are coming out. And I think that's great, and I think that's healthy. But again, I just want to say thank you to everyone that I've had the opportunity to work with. This is a bittersweet moment. I've had a lot of people ask me if I'm excited, and half of me, yes, is excited, and half of me is heartbroken to leave. I find it ironic that the mayor thanked me for my sense of humor. I don't know how often I've put that out there. But again, just a sincere thank you. And I wanted this process to be as amicable as I could make it. And this community has been through a lot, particularly over the last year, and I didn't want to add to that. But as I said last time in my resignation letter, this move is both personal and professional. And I am excited about the next opportunities, but I will definitely miss many people here. Many people who are in the audience today who have been friends and colleagues, and we've been through some tough times together. But we've also been, more importantly, through some great times together. The things that we've succeeded in with the railport, the CTE, we're sitting in a new building right now. That I had a goal in my career to never have my name on a plaque in a building, and here in Minot I have it on 2 in City Hall and Fire Station 5. So I broke that goal, and but I'm proud to have my name here on the positive things that we've done together, and I hope that it continues sincerely. And if I can ever be of any help or assistance, I'm happy to do that. But I'm confident that in the quality of staff that we have, that you're not going to need my help. You're going to be just fine. So again, a heartfelt thank you.
And just like that, we have a new city manager.
It's happy. Yeah, it's effectively official. I mean, not technically, I guess, for a couple weeks.
Interim.
But we have, yes.
Favorite word around here in Minot.
Yes, yeah. This last year, interims have been all over the place, and now interim city manager Tom Joyce has officially taken the wheel as of about an hour ago. So,
yeah.
Good morning. Thanks, everyone, for stopping in. That was not a full replay of the city council meeting last night.
That was the big storyline that came out, supposedly, though.
It was
last night, that was
we
just
saw going around last night.
Headlines we saw flying around Minot was that city manager, he had to put in a 60-day notice per his contract, but both sides mutually agreed on an earlier time frame to allow him to get to work in in the Tri-Cities, Pasco, a little bit earlier. And so good, glad that was able to come to a resolution there.
Good for everybody.
Mostly it is, as long as information can be transferred over in the way that is deemed necessary. I think it is good for everybody. The longer those processes drag out, it seems like things can get a little bit raw and more emotions can come out. So,
completely so. He'll still be, technically on file till the end of this month, effectively, but really, it's Tom Joyce's job now.
Maybe he'll even, come on a podcast.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna try.
Yeah. So no, really have enjoyed though. really have enjoyed Harold Stewart.
He's been fun. I've loved him being the city manager. I mean, a lot of people might say different, but I think Harold's done a great job.
I think so.
And I hope I think he will do a great job in Pasco, and I hope he enjoys going to Pasco.
I am also, though, looking forward to our boy Tom Joyce too.
Yeah. No, Tom, from what I've seen, I don't think met Tom yet, but from what I've seen of him, every time I've heard him speak,
it's been great.
Yeah, I've enjoyed Tom.
Yeah, the only meeting that he was at in the city manager chair was the one where things were a little bit contentious.
Yeah, there were some things going on with that one. I remember that. That was when we had like the
resignation.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was a big day.
That was on April 1st.
April 1st.
And what a joke of a summer it's turned into.
Yeah, and that actually leads us into today.
Yeah.
August 5th,
It's
which
election day.
is election day. If you have not voted and you do not have an I voted sticker,
I voted.
get out and vote. We did stop by the Ward County Auditor's office, talked with Marissa Heyman this morning. We'll play that clip at the end of the show.
Jonathan out here on the roll doing
on the
big
beat,
things
bro.
today.
Yeah, terrible video,
out.
but the audio is good.
Yeah,
so
I was out voting this morning. Jonathan's out here doing interviews.
yeah, and we know how many early votes or absentee ballots were cast. How many are out there? Gives us a timeline of when they anticipate all those votes being turned in, and where you can find those results, which will be right here
Live
at the Dakota.
tonight.
We're going to be live. We're going live around 6:30 p.m. We're going to be live until results come out. We will have interviews. We don't know how many, but we'll have a couple guests on to shoot the breeze with.
Yep. We're going to have exit polling that we're going to be out and doing all afternoon.
Potentially man on the street stuff. Depends on weather.
Yeah, because if you haven't voted yet, make sure you get out there sooner than later, because it looks like there's a chance of rain for pretty much intermittent times all the rest of the day.
They're ready there for you. They're ready for a high turnout, and they feel like the process will be very smooth. So get out there and do that. All right.
We're here finally, man.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, dude, finally. It has taken way too long. Way too long.
Been just a mess. I'm glad it's here. Everyone, I think we're going to have hopefully decent turnout. I guess what do we define as decent is better than June's.
Anything over 3,500.
Yeah, there you go. I like
So
like
anything
that
over
better.
2,000 is where you're at?
I'm going somewhere between 3 and 4 is my
That would be good turnout.
my prediction.
I think it has to be over 3,000 to be good turnout.
that's fair.
So this is interesting.
What?
Totally spaced it, but it was really interesting while it resided in my head.
Oh,
It's that kind of day.
it's
that kinda
already
day.
going to be that way.
Yeah,
So
it
make
is.
sure, you're following along all day long, because we're going to be here posting updates tonight. It's going to be a blast. But yesterday there was a big city council
There
meeting.
was.
There was some tensions flying yesterday.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we saw with that opening clip, Harold Stewart has set his exit time,
And one thing that was brought up at the city council meeting was that there's an alcohol ordinance that's coming back on September, the first meeting in September,
it sounds like it. Yeah.
which is really interesting
Mm-hmm.
because that's not going to work, right?
Probably
Potentially. Yeah. The only way that
Probably
works
gonna get
right.
tabled for another 2 months.
Yeah. The only way that works right is if Josiah wins.
Yeah, that's true. Which, depending on turnout, I think that's a possibility.
I didn't realize that they said September, but they probably did.
Also,
But I thought it was the first time that they had a full council.
and which
That's the point of it.
there might be some ambiguity with that, because I know there was a couple times when they were talking about September meetings where they said the 2nd of September, which is the first meeting in September,
Yeah.
and the second meeting in September. So I think there might there's a chance for a little bit of a mix up or flip flop with those kind of things.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
there's always a chance it could be that which even still I don't think the second meeting, I don't think September works unless Josiah wins in general.
Yeah.
Just with the time frames
not
of
sure.
everything. It
Not
could be, it could work, but we'll figure it out as the time comes.
I wonder when when it's considered a vacancy. Is it considered a vacancy when the city council is actually, if a city council member is actually put into place as mayor, or is it considered a vacancy after they're elected in?
That's good. Yeah.
But it's probably when they're actually taking that oath and become mayor. So, anyways, yesterday big city council meeting.
Yeah,
Let's break it down.
I got
We'll
to-
talk about the mayoral race at the end.
I got to get there. It was
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I know. It was fun. It started off, it
Favorite
was
topic of conversation in Minot, right?
city council.
Construction.
Oh,
That's where
construction.
it started
Yeah. You're right. So yeah, fun little thing. City has underspent its projected construction budget.
Wow,
Things
this
came
year?
in under budget and
Right.
by like $500,000-$600,000 it sounded like.
Wow.
And so the city is looking at a couple different, special projects
Couple different roads they could shut down.
projects that fall under the $200,000 requirement for a bid process to take place. So
We didn't know this, but the Broadway Bridge actually does need new painting that will take a week long.
chip seal.
Chip seal.
Chip seal.
It needs a chip seal just on the bridge. It's going to take a week long.
We're shutting
And so
down how the
16th Street, Broadway Bridge, and rumor has it DOT might be doing some work on the bypass. So
yeah, so it's gonna be fine, man.
that's all a joke.
That's
That's just what it feels like.
We are not saying that that's happening. We have
just
not
what it
heard
feels
any
like.
kind of Broadway bridge work happening.
Yeah.
No, but that was kind of neat to hear. So there's going to be a couple other projects that they try to get done before construction season ends. Because lo and behold, we're already in August now. That's got like 2 months. And
Summer's flown by.
we got like you get past 6 weeks from now. There's no guarantee for good weather after that.
Right.
It can go into October, but you get to that midpoint of September, anything goes at that stage.
Absolutely. So that's good that we have some reserves, or not reserves, but some extra in that bucket. Way to manage funds.
Yeah, and we're going to dive in on that. We're talking about managing the buckets. But
Yeah.
there was one thing I want to grab before we get to that I thought was interesting. So about 2 years ago, the winter of, I believe, 23-24, there was a big survey that went around the city, and it's been referenced a lot in the last year and a half.
Survey.
And there was talk of another survey going around.
Which creates some good discussion.
Yeah, it was in a consent item, but it got brought up to talk about. And it kind of went around the horn a little bit, but it ended up passing 4-2. Fuller.
Were you surprised?
I was. I thought it would have. Either I thought it would have been 6-0 or like 3-3.
Yeah.
So Fuller Samuelson.
Basically how all the
dissented.
votes go at this point.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit too.
There was a couple that weren't though.
No, there was a few 2-4, 4-2s in this one, which was interesting. But yeah, no, it sounds like there will be another survey that comes forward this winter or fall sometime. So we'll get another satisfaction survey coming about some work that's gone on.
Are you gonna?
down.
Did you vote in the last one?
I don't think I did. I don't think
Yeah.
I got
And
that one.
what's it? Everyone can vote in these, right?
As far as I
Participate.
know,
You had to go find the survey, and then you're able to participate in it.
I believe that's how it
So
works.
when that comes out, we will post that around so you can
Oh, yeah.
be a part of that.
we will post the heck
And
out
do
of that.
do not say you're unhappy with the roads.
I have to quickly digress. I just thought of something that I mentioned to you before we started that I wanted to mention at the start. But I have breaking news. Minot is in the national
Yeah.
news again.
It's
We were posted to the AP website, their page. Once again,
it's sad when they follow us this closely because they know that there's always going to be news
always
here.
something happens. But this one's actually good.
Yay!
I know it's talking about the silo mural getting made in downtown by Guido,
Guido.
and the celebration that's going to be coming up in a couple weeks, where they have a big party about it. Looking forward to that.
And then the old Citizens Alley.
Yeah, and I think it's going to
Heard
be,
about that last night.
It's going to be Citizens Alley was mentioned last night, which I think
We probably won't be talking about that.
you want to. We can.
I'm saying we probably won't be.
Probably not, but
Yeah.
yeah. Where do you want to go to next? Should we go to the flood control buildings?
Yeah.
All right.
That was a pretty interesting conversation.
There was 3 eminent domain purchases that came to the council's agenda last night, all pretty much in the same little neighborhood there. And all 3 buildings, the proposed buyout was above the 15% recommended over the baseline.
Yeah,
of
so they get an appraisal
projected-
value.
Appraisal value, that's
Yeah.
the proper word.
And if
yeah.
it's 200,000, then they'll go and say, "Hey, we'll give you 250." Yeah,
or
that would be 230.
230, yeah.
$230,000 for your home, and it's kind of like a little, "We appreciate you. We're sorry we have to do this," almost kind of thing. Maybe if there's money that was just thrown into the home, it covers stuff like that may not otherwise come.
And about 10 years ago, Minot had to go through this a lot with the flood buyout
Right.
stuff.
There was a lot of feelings then.
So that's where that 15% recommendation came from. It's not like it's a set in stone, it has to be, but it's kind of like it's best practice principle kind of thing.
Especially since they followed it all along.
Yeah. However, with this one, these buildings came above that number. And
Yeah,
there was
one was 200,000 over the appraised value, and the other one was 170,000 over
Yeah.
the appraised value.
And those 2 created the most conversation because the third one, which was a residential house, They passed that one. It's going to get bought out now. With the other two, though, they were talking about, there was a lot of discussion on it. And the one thing that I really noted was that on these reports, there wasn't like a comparable appraisal value, which generally, from the way it sounds, when you get an appraisal, they try to find a building that's comparable that has recently sold.
It's so strange. It's part of an appraisal. Like if you're going to a bank, the bank is going to want to see that on their appraisal. From my experience as being a loan officer, the underwriter would go and send that back to the appraiser and be like, hey, we need you to get some comparables for us. It's very strange to not have a comparable.
So yeah, those ones both ended up getting voted down 2-4. They had a discussion at first with that first one that came up. It was agenda item 6.2, and that's when most of the discussion on all three of these effectively happened.
Right. They just kicked it off with it. It was a little bit confusing in timeline.
Yeah.
Kyla and I almost got into a fight about it this morning.
Yeah, it was physical for a second in here. We had to adjust the tables and stuff. It was a trip.
We worked it out.
Yeah. But no, they had to go through pretty much debating on if this additional and excess price is worth it, and they went for no. They voted these down, so it's going to end up going back to the owners for further negotiations.
What it sounded like to me was that the city staff, a point that was pulled out was that eminent domain could take up to 2 years, and so they were just trying to give a higher number to get it resolved ASAP. That's what it sounded like to me. And the homeowners were definitely fine with it.
Because there's not, at this point, a lot of these things that have to happen anymore.
Yeah, right.
With the remaining flood plans. Like, there's going to be a couple that pop up throughout the remaining years, but generally, there's not a lot of this left.
Yeah. I don't know. It really leaves a weird taste in your mouth as to why we're doing this. And then there's the 4-2 vote. I mean, personally, I don't think it's a wise spending of money if we're going to just be going out and that's something that has a ton of attention has been drawn to across the board when you're looking at even the conversations that go about with the contractors and local contractors and being, we don't want to overspend on projects just to support local. And I understand that makes sense. I agree with that. We don't want to, but I don't understand why here we'd be like, yeah, let's just go $200,000 over the appraised value. The homeowner doesn't even have their own appraisal. It's just our own appraisal without comparables. We don't even know how quality this appraisal is. Yeah. It's just such a weird deal.
Company, there was I don't know if company is the right word, but it was a service out of Bismarck that did the appraisal. Yeah. And this is one that we're going to end up seeing come back.
Which is for a good thing.
Yep.
So we'll see how it gets resolved. I mean, obviously eminent domain is not the preferred route by anybody, I don't think. No. But if it is the necessary route, it sounds like per our attorney, and she would not want to be quoted on it because per our being the city attorney, not wanting to be quoted on it because it's really hard to know, but it seems like legal fees should be under that.
Yeah. And typically, generally speaking, the city has done well in the
that's what the city manager said.
Part, where when it comes to a judge on determining if there's differentiations in appraisals and it's not agreed on, it typically sounds like the city's been sided with in those instances.
So it sounds like we have a pretty good process with all this. Not sure why we detouring it on this one.
Yeah, and if there was extra reasoning, I'm not sure if I caught it.
So that's something that was interesting. What else was interesting?
Oh, gosh.
I think the next topic is big.
Sales tax.
This is the biggest one, man.
Yeah. This is the big thing. It was originally brought up 2-3 weeks ago now, technically, at the last city council meeting in July. It was proposed by Alderman Fuller that the city rework a 0.5 cent in sales tax penny to go towards EMS services, police and fire, effectively.
Public safety, and it could also help with the animal control. Yep. It was very broad in the scope that it could help with.
Yep.
But the important thing to see here is that it was reallocating, and I know you already mentioned it, but it was reallocating a 0.5 cent sales tax penny that already has allocations. One of them, the big driver that was talked about a ton, was economic development. That's one of the buckets that penny gets put into. And now that money, that 0.5 cent, would just be going to public safety.
Yeah.
There was a lot of back and forth on this. There was the question of, should the people be involved in this?
This is when the tensions kind of got high last night.
Dude, honestly, after this, city council just felt weird.
Yeah, there was a almost visible tension in the air afterwards.
But you
where
have
they
to
had- you
remember.
could-
Sorry, I interrupted you. Finish.
It's not the first time.
That's your only comeback on that now. So you have to remember it's election day.
Yeah.
So already I think there was like a little bit of whatever,
Yeah.
and then
But we're having a city council meeting literally the day before election day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, and so it got very intense.
And you could, it felt like afterwards too, that there was just like on pretty much all parties, just a defeated kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
So here's the effective proposal was to change that half cent that goes towards economic development, goes towards buying down property taxes, so subsidizing the city's property taxes, and there was a third part too. But I think something else with development, but regardless, that would get changed into a public service tax at that point, and
Right.
it would pay for. You would shift the police fire off of that property tax and over into sales tax payment, which you can, I think generally sales tax is probably safer, especially in the climate right now. But I just feels like there's always still that possibility if something goes wrong and it tanks one year,
Yeah.
that could always lead to problems in and of itself. But
Right.
that's definitely a future problem for this issue. And the big thing going off of it that you saw was some of the pushback. And the first pushback that came was from, I believe, Alderwoman Olson, who said that she wanted to table it until until September.
Yeah,
To allow more public input.
right. And so that brings the question to have sales tax pennies, should there be public discussion on it? Now the council has the authority to make the decision, but still, should the people be able to weigh in on this?
Yeah.
Seems like recently with a lot of the big decisions, there has been that route that's been going on where alcohol ordinance, flock wasn't because of that, but it was definitely encouraged. There's been a timetable created where allow the public to weigh on it.
Even the half cent increase for the park board proposal from June.
Yeah, right, yep. Interesting deal, because we kind of asked a question along this lines at the debate, like when should there be public input and when should there not be? On one side, these people were elected to council.
Like we live in a representative democracy for a reason.
Right. And so you have that, but that would have to be across the board. That would have to be like whatever it is, it's got to be consistent, right?
Like at that point, how often do you bring anything to the voters then for referendum? Yeah.
Now, if you're bringing on a new sales tax, then I think it's required. But yeah, that definitely should go to the people. We shouldn't have an authority that can just impose tax on us without us being able to fight back at all. Like that'd be absurd.
Sales tax wise.
Sales tax, I know with the property tax, it is that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And now the government has limited that a little bit at the state level, but still that's insane. It's insane that that a taxing authority can just say, yeah, we're going to raise your taxes by however many meals we want, and you guys got to live with it. Like that is crazy.
It's a trip.
And so now there's a threshold where they can't do that.
Allegedly.
That's a conversation, isn't it?
Yes, that's not what we're talking about right now. And so Alderwoman Olson, effectively, she just wanted to push it off. And that's when you got some pushback from Alderman Fuller, who kind of went back and saying, because it was his proposal, hey, if you don't want to do this feels like, are you actually for the PD fire kind of thing? And then that transpired into Alderman Janser kind of breaking down what those things that are currently in there are. And that's when I think Pittner came up with and started speaking.
We have a clip of that. And Terry, we see your comment. We will talk about that in a minute when we're done with this. But we have a clip of Pittner, and basically we'll play this, and there's two views on this.
Yep.
And so go ahead, listen. We want to hear your take.
Live, when I heard it, I thought one thing, and then replaying it back, I definitely
You can see the other side.
caught a different angle on it. Yeah.
So we're going to play it, and you can
We'll break it down then.
you can see what you think about it.
So yeah, a lot of things to unpack here, because this is we're making this conversation about economic development. But to Mark's point, this is property tax relief, this is improvements. There's a lot more in this 50% of a penny than just economic development. So I kind of want to say let's call it what it is. This is an attempt to get the city out of economic development. And just for the record, the city does not have a staff member that handles economic development. That position was cut through last year's budget. And again, I agree. I don't think we should have. It's difficult, right, to sit here and say, either people get their buildings done or you support your fire and police. We're oversimplifying this like a great deal. And again, so can I offer an amendment or an addition to the motion to table? To provide more direction to staff if it is tabled?
I think you could. It just depends on, it's not exceeding the motion to like table it. So right now it's
I would say
September.
table. I would continue to motion the table to our September
Second meeting.
in September, but to include the direction to staff to draft language for a half-cent sales tax to be placed on the ballot in the June election of next year.
So boom, just like that.
Yeah. So, and the conversation went beyond that. We cut out a little bit of dead space in there. If you watch it live or watch the full deal. So basically, some are saying that he was proposing a brand new half-cent sales tax that would be voted on by the people in next June's election.
Yeah.
When it happened live, it felt like he was reallocating, saying, let's do this, and then let's reallocate it.
That half cent that Fuller's proposing effectively.
Just bring it before the people.
Yeah. That's what I took initially from it.
But then after realizing how it was already tabled, when you go back and consider that and you listen to it again.
And then you listen to some other people's comments afterwards, bless them especially.
Yeah, bless him says like not interested in a new tax. And there's no rebuttal to that. It felt like that way.
Yeah.
So that's something that you guys can decide whether it was a brand new half-cent sales tax
Or a reallocation of that.
There was definitely a
yeah.
push by some to get it to the people in order to even bring it forward, which is a way. It's so. I don't want this to come across as me being like derogatory to that, but that's a move that tries to get the people on your side with whatever action you take, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It just depends on how much, and maybe it's a discussion we should have, and maybe it's something we should bring on unfiltered and get some big comments on this one. Like, how much input should the people have on decisions after they've elected somebody to it?
Yeah.
Like, I understand there should be public appearances. I understand they should be able to reach out. I understand that sometimes that's going to influence it, but you don't want every single vote at the dais
Brought to referendum.
or to be based off, well, I got 30 emails for and 15 against, so this is how
Clearly
I'm
it
going
has
to make my decision. You don't want that.
No.
You don't.
Like, where is the threshold at that point for something that should be brought before the public in an actual voting situation versus how do you take that public opinion and make it work?
Yeah.
And so I've got that sales tax penny pulled up. And so of that, half of it, 25% is for improvements. 15% is for economic development, and that last 10% is for that property tax relief.
Gotcha.
So
they're thinking that the property tax relief is not coming from the state.
so it's pretty much a wash.
Yeah.
I guess.
Economic development. I don't know. And then you have the property improvements, which some of that's going to be going towards the police anyways at this point.
Yeah. So I think a lot of that is, and I think at that point, the majority of it probably is that economic development thing. Because if the property tax is effectively a wash because of what the state's done, then you're sitting at, 15%, because especially if that 25% in the near future at least is going to go for that new fire station, that new police department, whatever happens with those, there you go. So now it kind of brings it back to where we were at with it earlier. Like at what point do we need to vote on something like this?
Yeah. Where do you feel?
I think that this is so. I am not for an increase of a half-cent sales tax for 8%.
Yeah, of going up to 8%.
Yes, to be certain on that, I would not be in favor of going up to 8% sales tax. However, I am fully in favor of a citizen referendum on if we should change that 50% from what it is allocated to now to the other way. Because
So how does that appear on the ballot?
0.5% sales tax allocation to emergency services.
Right. Yeah, but what I'm saying, so then, and if it fails, then it just continues to go to
As
the
is.
which is crazy though.
Yeah.
That part's the crazy part.
Because even if it fails, they could still rework it however they want if they wanted to.
If they wanted to, but then if they said no, we're going to literally just follow what the people want, and they're like, no, we don't want to go towards that. Okay, so then it just continues to go to economic development bucket right now that is full. Property tax relief, which at this point is,
I hate subsidies. So.
Yeah, but also it's crazy for us to, based off of how the rules work now, it's crazy to provide any relief that's not
coming from the state.
Yeah, state, because if you buy it down with sales tax, it hurts you. Mm-hmm. It hurts you now.
It's a double-edged sword where it's cutting you both ways at that point.
Yeah, and then the improvements, obviously that's something, the property improvements
broad,
is very broad. So I don't know, man. It's such an, I see both sides to it.
100%.
I'm very split on it because I understand when it comes to taxing, that's the people. You're affecting the people. That's a huge effect on the people. But we're not talking about imposing a new one.
No.
And that's where it's like, I don't know that it needs to be an actual referendum.
Yeah, and I totally see where you're coming from on that, because if you do start opening it up, now it's something where if you do it once, how do you justify in the future to not do it? Yeah,
right. How do you justify to not do it? And if the people vote it down, if the money needs to be reallocated, that means you have to go do another vote. So like for 12 months, we're going to go and do votes until the people finally decide on something. Mm-hmm. How does that play out?
Exactly. Now you're sitting in like a direct democracy where the people vote on everything, and it just becomes muddied. And then if we thought we had bad turnout, just wait till that happens.
Right. Yeah. People are going to be upset.
Yeah, they're really going to be apathetic at that point.
And to be completely fair, they're going to not be understanding of it. Mm-hmm. They're not going to understand why there's another vote going on. Eventually they might, but what I'm saying is there will be some people that are informed, that are digging into it. Other people can be like, this makes no sense. We just voted on this, because there's a lot of backstory that you'd have to have in order to have the full understanding of what's going on.
100%, especially with this specifically.
Specifically with this. Yeah. That otherwise, that is not a comment. To be clear, that is not a comment saying that people are dumb. That's not what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is just there has to be a lot of research done on this one in order to, and not everyone's going to have that research ready.
Because on top of that, you have to understand that 40% of because we have 2 pennies that we can do whatever we want with effectively, just to be as broad as possible with that. 40% of one of those pennies is going to NAS, which is going to be timing out in the next couple years here. So all of a sudden we're going to have 40% to start allocating differently within another year or two.
Yeah, and that's the biggest example right there. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go to a referendum.
Exactly.
And wait for the people to decide on what we're going to do with this. Mm-hmm. And then in the time being, if they vote it down, we're just going to continue to put into a NAS bucket that doesn't need used anymore.
Mm-hmm. Personally, gut feeling, I would prefer a vote. Practically and objectively, I don't know if it's the best idea.
Yeah. And it's just difficult to understand how to get that feedback where the people would be happy and whatever. So that's a tough situation.
I feel like it's a lose-lose regardless. You're going to have people that are upset.
Got voted down. I don't really know what happens now. It sounds like it just stays the same.
Unless someone brings it up again. But at the end, Pittner instructed staff to at least bring forward a proposal for what that referendum would look like.
Yeah.
Which I guess at that point we'll find out for sure if it's actually an increase or if it's just a reallocation.
That'll be interesting to see that.
But I think the biggest thing, which Lisa Hermosillo and I were both there, and from the start looking at it, we looked at each other and this is going to be a 3-3 vote. Guess what it ended up being?
3-3 vote.
3-3 vote. So you had a half hour of conversation, pretty tense conversation, that was effectively all for nothing.
Harold Stewart said, that's good that that's
healthy.
Happening.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. It's healthy. It's good. I like to see that. And then that flips over to after that, when that all wrapped up, finally, that's when you saw some more of the votes towards those flood control projects. The second one failed and they passed the residential one. And then after that, you started rolling into personal appearances, which, there is that new personal appearance.
Thoughts on the new public appearance rules, Terry?
So
how do you like it?
Feels unnecessary, but it's not like it's difficult.
Well, my question is there any verification? Because there's with the cards.
I
There's
should have
like
grabbed a card to show
Yeah.
on the show, but here it's just like a 6x4 notepad paper. It has your name, your address, the topic you wish to discuss.
Yep.
That's all. Then you hand it to the clerk.
And so the idea is that there's more like verification being done before somebody just gets up and talk, which is probably a good thing because every once in a while, whatever, we're talking about catfish in water, you know,
Yeah.
for real. But there, I don't think there's any verification on the address.
Yeah,
And-
and that's what really matters is the residential part. of
Right.
it.
Because they're saying they only want people in the city of Minot now, which makes complete sense.
But how that live verification happens in live real time, I don't know how that plays
Yeah.
out. I feel like it's probably easy to work around. I don't know
little
for
bit.
sure.
Yeah.
But like,
So, yeah. I know there was one person that commented yesterday that previously had lived outside, as of recently previously lived outside of out of Minot. But obviously
she went up and
life
spoke.
changes.
Yeah.
So very well could be within city now.
Of course, Josiah was there last night again before the election today. So
Yeah.
we heard all four candidates
Yeah,
speak
I
at
was
the city
thinking
council
about
meeting
pulling a
last night.
clip from all four candidates. Thought that would be interesting,
That
but
would've been-
we didn't.
No, no time for that.
But yeah, Josiah had some comments. Lisa Olson says operations and maintenance will be needed on the flood protection wall, so the NOS dollars may be reallocated to that need. Anyone can speak to the city council. They do not need to live inside the city of limits. Okay,
Fair.
well, that was. I'm pretty sure that was discussed, and so that must have not actually have carried over.
Not at least not like one of those necessity requirement kind of things.
Yep.
Like I know it was just,
yeah, it
but
was definitely discussed.
we're rolling with that. City, they've again. It's Josiah mentioned on his thing last night that the new rules are restrictive for people and can be discouraging. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I feel like if you can't,
I mean, the 5 limits is limiting,
maybe that,
and that's good. We need that.
yeah,
Last thing we need is a filibuster going on by the people.
yeah, for a half hour and a half where they just start, literally filibustering what's going on, and. I don't know if 3 lines of writing your name, your address, and what you want to talk about should be restrictive. If you consider that restrictive, I think there's a different issue there.
Right. No, absolutely.
That effectively,
Covers the.
there was a big MAC EDC recap of the first half of the year, and then there was a recap of the community development committee that Paul Pittner and Mike Blessum were on, where they pretty much brought the last few months of discussion they've had there to forward to the council.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was city council last night. Now we get to vote today.
Yay.
Yeah,
You've already
did.
done that.
I did.
You took care of that business.
Vote sticker right there.
Way
Where
to
are you
go.
going?
Probably going here soon. I have something at 10:30, so probably after that.
Heck yeah.
I might hang around.
Yeah, I'm going to be up there at noon all afternoon.
Yeah. Way to go.
Do my exit polling. Then hopefully we might try to do some of that man on the street. Not going to guarantee it, but again, make sure you check us out at 6:30.
At 6:30, from 6:30 to 7, we're going to be going over.
Polling, some final thoughts on the election in general.
Yep.
Maybe rehash a little bit of that article I put out over the weekend. If we do any of those man on the street interviews, we'll play them then. And then hopefully around 7-ish, we're going to start bringing some people on remotely.
7 to 8, we'll have some guests on.
Yeah.
Yep. And then after 8, we'll be anticipating results.
Yeah, somewhere right around, I think, like, I don't think I'd expect 7:30 from what it sounded like. It sounds like 8 to 8:30.
8 to 8:30 is what we were told. And we'll play that clip here shortly that we had with the county auditor treasurer.
You went and did some work this morning.
Finally. It took me about 2 years.
I feel ya. I got the exit polls ready to go for tonight. It's
Great.
gonna be good.
So any projections you want to throw out on the mayor race?
How about you?
No.
I'm totally.
Are we going to see a pie in the face video tonight?
Yeah. We'll make it happen. We're going to see an ice bucket challenge
Yeah,
today.
we're supposed to make that happen, aren't we?
Yeah, we were
Sounds like we have a busy afternoon,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
definitely supposed to do that yesterday, and I definitely forgot about
Yeah,
that.
me too. I thought about that this morning. Like,
I'm fine.
that
I'll go get
stinks.
some. I will for sure commit to the pie in the face.
yeah. Well,
That's a lot easier to clean up.
Yeah.
Is it?
Either way,
Probably.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
As long as you don't dump it on my head, which you're going to do.
That's literally the point of it.
Yeah, you should do it on my shoulders so I don't have to figure out my
Fix your hair
Head.
again.
Yeah. So, anyways, that will also be stuff that you can look forward to if you consider that looking forward to.
Yes, you can see us torment each other, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's fun.
Yeah, something
I've heard.
But with that,
yeah,
do you want
with
to go to
that-
that last?
Yeah,
I
with
think
that-
we're going to cut this one a little shorter, right?
I don't know. We'll see. But we're definitely going to go to a clip with Marissa Heyman breaking down what to expect at the pools today. Sorry about the video quality. It's not the greatest because I was there.
It's fantastic.
No, it's not. But she did great.
So,
Hello, my
yeah, a
name
lot
is
of-
Jonathan Starr.
lot
I'm
of
with
things
the
to unpack
Dakota,
here,
and
'cause
today
this
I'm
is-
joined by Marissa Heyman. Sorry about that, County's guys.
Making
auditor,
this conversation
treasurer.
what I kind of
Busy day
felt
for you
to
guys.
Mark's point.
You guys excited? You guys ready for
There's
this?
the right
I think
one.
so. We've been prepping for a long time, it feels like, so it's kind of the home stretch now for us.
Absolutely. So obviously people were not able to have early voting, but there was an absentee ballot process that you guys were able to have implemented. Estimated numbers on absentee ballots.
Sure. I think as of 4:30 yesterday, we had given out 938 ballots, and I want to say it was 923 returned, which leaves like 15 ballots out there. So that's a really good return rate for absentees. So
That's
kind
awesome.
of took the place of early voting, I feel like, because that was around the same number we had for the park between absentee and early. So
Okay, so around the same number. Today, people are hoping, maybe dreaming that there'll be 5,000-6,000 votes that are cast today. How is that? Have you guys thought about that at all as you guys have gone through how you guys will take care of things on today, with it being maybe potentially extra busy?
yeah, I'm thinking this one will be a little bit busier than the park. I mean, I always prep for more than enough. So
Yeah.
I think maybe my dream is we'll have that many. Usually I'm a little, disappointed with what I estimate, I guess, for turnout. But there was a couple people over there in line when I went over, so I figure they'll probably have a rush this morning. I can't remember how many ballots I sent them. I feel like around 2,500. So I'm like, okay, in my mind, I was like, if that can get us to lunch, that'd be good. Now that might stretch us all day. I guess we'll
Right.
kind of see
Yep.
what happens.
And so, what is the process that someone should expect when they stop by the city auditorium for voting?
It should be pretty in and out. They have if you go in the main doors, it's door number 2. You kind of go straight in the hallway and they can kind of loop through the doors. So I'm thinking with one question on the ballot, you check in, get your ballot, vote, and walk out. So I think it should be pretty quick. Even if there is a little bit of line, you're probably not going to have to wait very long.
And then, of course, the thing that we're all excited about is the results. We get to find that out tonight. Polls close at 7 p.m.
Yep.
When do you guys anticipate beginning to see results roll out?
So typically we'll have those absentee ones almost calculated. We have to wait now till 7 p.m. to have, if anyone turned theirs in, sorry, I should re-clarify. Since that law changed, they can turn their absentee ballots in until 7 p.m. So we might have a few stragglers we have to scan before we have those results. So those we'll probably have shortly after 7. And I would anticipate the ones from the auditorium coming in by like 8:30 at the latest. So go ahead.
Sorry, you guys release that as one block, right?
We may, depending on if it's a little while before, we might do both. But typically, because these will be so close together, we'll probably wait till we have results from both types and just give you one final preliminary number, I guess.
Very cool. And then if the public wants to see those numbers, where's the best place that you guys will have them at?
So we'll email them to the media, and then we'll post them on our Facebook, and I'm anticipating the city will post them on their Facebook right away, too. So they probably have a little bit more followers than we do, but...
Absolutely. Well, hey, we follow along your guys' Facebook page. Well, it sounds like a pretty exciting day.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys are ready for it.
Yep.
I guess you won't have any big surprises.
No,
It's just
bring your
gonna be-
ID. Bring your ID
Okay.
with you. Make sure you have that. Or if you change addresses, make sure you have a bank statement, something like that with you. So should be pretty easy.
Very cool. Well, appreciate you taking a couple minutes to talk with us. Sorry about that. Thanks, Zach. So going to be a little bit interesting. The early voting numbers showing that there's pretty much the normal amount of early voting going on, which good to hear, as there's no regular early voting that was able to take place this year or for this election. Going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Over 900 votes already cast. Obviously, that's probably gone over 1,000 now. That voting has been going on. Get out and vote today. Make sure it happens. See if we can get to that 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 number of votes. That would be huge. We want to make sure that this is a vote of the people, not just of certain people. Be part of the people today. With that, we're going to be going live at 6:30 p.m. tonight. We already kind of went over that. We'll be having some exit poll information. Or survey. It's considered a survey because it's not technical polling. We're going to be having some hopefully man on the street stuff here from people that have voted, giving their feedback on how they view the direction of the city. Going to be having some interviews with individuals that have been following this race closely. Between 7 and 8, and then after 8 we'll be having the results all here. So if you're having an election party or whatever, then just turn on YouTube, turn us on, and we'll keep you all entertained. Looking forward to it. Beyond that, make sure you like and subscribe to the Dakotan. Keep following along. We have some big things rolling out. We'll talk more about some of that stuff tonight, but thanks for watching this episode of Minot Talk here at the Dakotan, and have a great rest of your day.